Hello and welcome to Lunchtime Politics on Channels Television. I'm Millicent Walker. On the news this hour, a five-man panel of the Supreme Court led by Chief Justice of Nigeria reserves judgments on the application of the APC on Zamfara governorship election to a later date. Warring parties in the All Progressives Congress to sheathe their swords as governors of the party opt for a political solution to the party's leadership crisis. And after conflicting orders, intense power play within the rank and file of the APC, the embattled national chairman seemed to be back up in the game as he summons a national working committee, which is expected to begin any moment now. Welcome everyone to the program. We begin with the story is just in a third case of COVID-19 in Nigeria, which has been confirmed in Lagos. The Lagos State Ministry of Health reports on its Twitter handle that this is a new case independent of the index case. In a tweet, the health ministry explains that the patient, a 30-year-old Nigerian female, returned from the United Kingdom on the 13th of March. She observed self-isolation and developed the symptoms and tested positive. The patient is now receiving care at the Mainland General Hospital, Yaba. This is emerging a day after the Minister of Health, State for Health, Dr. Oloronimbe Mamora, announced that there is no new case of the virus in the last 1 week. Before now, there have been two reported cases, the 44-year-old Italian index case and a Nigerian, both of whom have been given a clean bill of health. The Ministry of Health had, however, warned Nigerians against complacency. And now back to mainstream politics. The Supreme Court in Abuja has reserved judgment of the application of the APC for the review of the Zamfara governorship election to a later date, which will be communicated to the parties in the suit. A five-man panel of the Supreme Court led by the Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Tanko Mohammed, began sitting today as the Zamfara APC appeals for the setting aside of the Supreme Court judgment in which counsel to the APC, Mr. Robert Clark, argued the Supreme Court judgment was based on technicalities without considering the merits of the matter. And to other stories, there appears to be a new twist to the internal crisis rocking the ruling All Progressives Congress APC, as it seems the courts have now become the party's last resort. Yesterday, the national chairman of the party, Mr. Adams Oshomole, secured an order from the Court of Appeal vacating the High Court injunction which suspended him as the national chairman of the party. Well, the three-man panel of the Appellate Court, presided over by Justice Abubakar Yahya, ordered a stay of execution of the order pending hearing and determination of the motion and notice filed by Mr. Oshomole. The court also granted an order of interim injunction restraining the defendants from taking any action that will violate the order of a stay of execution granted by the court. But the court warned political parties to resolve their differences amicably without resorting to the courts. Hearing of the motion or notice has, however, been fixed for Friday, March the 20th. Meanwhile, before the Court of Appeal granted Mr. Oshomole's plea, the acting National Secretary of the APC, Mr. Victor Gedum, had approached an FCT High Court in Maitama seeking an order to declare him acting national chairman of the party. Of course, he was able to secure that order from Justice Baturi's court, which allows him to pilot the affairs of the party by presiding over the National Executive Committee meeting, which was scheduled to hold today. The court also granted an order preventing the APC and its officers from disturbing Mr. Gedum from functioning as acting chairman of the party. The court thereafter adjourned the case till the 20th of March as well. But seeing indeed, as we had the earlier issue before the appeal court, that injunction may not hold weight anymore. Another twist that also surfaced yesterday in the APC's political circle is a postponement of the planned NEC meeting, National Executive Committee meeting, which was scheduled to hold today. The chairman of the APC governors and governor of Kebbi State, Mr. Atiku Bagudu, mentioned this after governors of APC-controlled states met for about 30 minutes with President Muhammadu Buhari at the State House. There, he said the postponement will allow the governors time to resolve all contending issues affecting the party.
Governors of all progressive Congress-controlled states came this afternoon to meet with Mr. President. And among other issues, yes, we discussed about party issue and show appreciation to Mr. President, how he has given access to each of us individually and collectively. And among the issues we discussed was the need with the resolution that the governors have taken to work together and resolve all the issues in the party, in our party, and also to seek Mr. President support to postpone the National Executive Council meeting that was scheduled for tomorrow until such a time that the governors are able to report back.
Has he agreed to that?
Yes.
Well, after the stormy battle threatening to end the reign of Comrade Adams Oshiomhole, the national chairman of the APC, there seems to be a silver lining for the embattled chairman as the appeal court vacates the suspension order of Mr. Oshiomhole. Today, the APC National Working Committee is to commence a meeting at the instance of Comrade Adams Oshiomhole, which is to begin at 12 noon. It's expected that the leadership of the party is to follow the resolution of the APC governors seeking for political solution after their meeting with the president. Well, let's find out more about this. The APC NEC meeting set to commence. We connect with our correspondent Kayla Megwa, who gives us an update on that. Kayla, what more do we know as to the National Working Committee meeting?
Okay, so we are at the APC Secretariat right here in the nation's capital, and as you can see from behind me the arrival of some of the chieftains of the All Progressives Congress getting ready for this NWC meeting. Remember, the NEC was supposed to hold today. That has been cancelled. However, the National Working Committee of the All Progressives Congress are meeting today, and of course the National Working Committee is headed by Mr. Adams Oshiomhole, who we are actually using the side of our eyes to see if he's going to be walking up in here any moment. Now, pertinent to note, the stay of execution on the High Court order by the appeal court yesterday, which now allows Mr. Oshiomhole to parade himself as the national chairman of the All Progressives Congress. So that is in effect, and he's going to be exercising that right, chairing this National Working Committee meeting of the All Progressives Congress. We're still having arrivals right now. Nothing yet has been told to us about what is going to be discussed. However, there was conversation about how many party matters, those were the words that were told, party matters will be discussed today, and we're looking forward to hearing what those matters will be. But for right now, the APC Secretariat, Mr. Adams Oshiomhole, is expected here to chair this meeting, and we're seeing the arrival of some of the chieftains and members of the National Working Committee of the All Progressives Congress. We'll keep you updated as the stories break right here.
All right, many thanks, Kayla Megwa, with that latest. We'll bring you more, of course, as we get it with regards to the meeting of the National Working Committee.